Hey, what's going on, everybody? So, I wanted to make a quick video to kind of talk about what's next for ASAP Rocky. So, he actually did get released from prison. I don't know whether or not there's been a verdict or whether or not he's guilty or, if there's going to be a penalty, so on and so forth. But I still think it's a good time to talk about the next stages for ASAP Rocky because this could potentially drag on for a couple of years. He may be thinking that he's just going to leave this situation behind, and that may be the case. He may be able to just walk away. I think I read some articles where he said that basically he has no plans to return to Sweden. And I don't know if a verdict has been basically delivered yet, but if they say that, he's guilty, then obviously there's going to be a warrant out for his arrest because they want him to come back and serve that jail time. But honestly, I'm thinking because they let him go, that's probably a good sign that they won't find him guilty. But even if that's the case, even if the verdict comes back and they say that he's not guilty, it could still potentially drag on for ASAP Rocky. And here's why. Basically, regardless, in the US, I believe, I don't know how things work in Sweden, but in the US, regardless of the outcome of a criminal trial, the parties may still have the ability to seek out remedies in a civil court. So, with that being said, this guy, Jafari, that you see here on the left, or did see on the left, he could potentially come back and he basically could sue civilly, right? So with that in mind, there are two different paths that he could possibly take, right? The first path that he could possibly take is that he can go to the civil court, and in the civil court in Sweden, and he can get this judgment, and then he can take that judgment and come over to the United States, preferably in the jurisdiction or the federal jurisdiction of where ASAP Rocky lives. I believe I'm not sure where ASAP Rocky lives, but it could be New York, it could be somewhere else. I don't know. But at any rate, that's homework that I guess this guy Jafari would have to do, or his lawyers would have to do, is say, hey, where's this guy living, or where does he spend most of his time? And we're going to basically get a judgment in Sweden, and we're going to take that judgment and we're going to take it over to New York, California, or wherever this guy is or spend most of his time, and we're going to register the foreign judgment in the United States. So that's one route that he could potentially take. Now, I'm saying this without knowing how the civil courts work in Sweden. I'm assuming, regardless of the outcome of a criminal trial, the parties still have a right to sue each other in a civil court. If you are in Sweden, definitely leave your comments below and let us know how the civil courts work in Sweden. Can you sue even though you lost the criminal trial, or do you have to win the criminal trial in order to sue in a civil court? Let us know. Let's talk about the second possibility, which I have some information on, and that's basically coming to the United States and suing ASAP Rocky for damages, right? So let's go ahead and get into that. I found the statute that could possibly apply if Jafari, basically the guy who was fighting ASAP Rocky, decided to come over here and sue. He could possibly use 28 USC 1332, diversity of citizenship, amount in controversy, and cost. So let's just go ahead and get into this. Basically, it goes on to read that district court shall have original jurisdiction over all civil actions where the matter in controversy exceeds the sum of value of $75,000, exclusive of interest and costs, and is between one, citizens of a different state. You live in New York, I live in Indiana, so I could, take this to federal court. Or two, citizens of a state and citizens or subjects of a foreign state, except that the district court shall not have original jurisdiction under this subsection of an action between citizens of a state and citizens or subjects of a foreign state who are lawfully admitted or permanent residents in the United States and are domiciled in the same state. So basically, what this saying is that if you are a person of a foreign state and you don't live in the United States, or you don't live in the state in which you intend to sue, you could possibly use this statute to come over here and basically sue, right? Providing you have cause, right? Then it goes on to say, three, citizens of different states in which citizens or subjects of a foreign state are additional parties, and four, a foreign state defined in section 1603A of this title as a plaintiff and citizens of a state or of different states. So now, basically, Jafari could literally come over here, right? If he knew where ASAP Rocky lived, he could come over here and just say, "Hey, look, man, I'm gonna sue you. I've got these broken ribs. I have all these cuts and bruises. I'm gonna sue you." He may not win. He may not win such a suit, but to some people, it's not really a matter of right and wrong. It's a matter of having the excellent lawyer to basically fight for you, or fight for your cause, or to basically plead your case, right? So if he comes over here, he gets the best lawyer in town, there is a possibility that he could sue ASAP Rocky and win, right? Maybe ASAP Rocky will just say, you know what, how much is it going to cost me to basically pay lawyers to defend myself? Okay, I'm just going to pay this guy half that and just call it a day. That's obviously an option, but seeing how ASAP Rocky was locked up over all this whole situation, he may not go that route. He may just decide to defend himself on general principles, on GP. So I don't know. Let me know what you think. Do you think that Jafari, the guy that ASAP Rocky fought, can come over here and sue? You think he should come over and sue? Or do you think it would just be a complete waste of time? Because even if he did come over here and sue, he would more than likely lose. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments below.